September of 31 BC. The Roman Republic stood on the brink of an endless struggle for power. Two giants, two fates, two love stories. Yet a war that would end in death was about to unfold. The West's greatest naval battle at Actium was about to take place. A trembling silence spread across the star-studded waters of the Ionian Sea. For here, not only ships, but destinies that would change history were about to clash. On the left, the enchanting Queen Cleopatra of Egypt, surrounded by romantic and political intrigues. On the right, the young and ambitious Octavian, the future Augustus, waited. Mark Antony's fleet counted 500 ships, supported by 70,000 soldiers. A powerful but indecisive force. Opposite him, Octavian had slightly fewer ships, but with 80,000 troops. He showed complete determination. Antony, along with Cleopatra, anchored north of Actium in Acarnania, awaiting the threat from the sea. But here's the twist. Antony was driven into war not just by grand strategies, but by complicated personal relationships. Cleopatra's advice and the turmoil of his heart would get him into trouble. Indeed, would it be an exaggeration to say that romantic drama decided the fate of the war? Who would have thought is love sharper than a sword? Octavian cut off Antony's land connections by taking Patrae and Corinth. Think of it as the ancient world's internet outage. Antony, left offline, had his problems multiply. And then the day of battle arrived. The second day of September. Swords glinting under the sun, sails dancing with the wind, and a struggle unlike any other in history began. Antony's fleet was arranged facing west of the Acarnanian coast, supported by Cleopatra's magnificent Egyptian ships. Yet this formation didn't last long, as the Queen's fleet suddenly withdrew. Cleopatra's escape was literally a plot twist in history. Imagine, in a strategically critical battle, "Captain, abandon ship." Antony had no choice but to follow. Think of it this way: lose the battle, chase love. What a terrible plan. This move demoralized the other ships, and most of Antony's fleet surrendered. Meanwhile, Octavian's troops landed and sealed the victory. The winner was... Let's dive deeper. This victory didn't just shift political balances. It paved the way for empires to rise. It opened the path for Augustus, one of the greatest figures of the ancient world. But remember, behind every great man there's a strong woman. In this story, that woman was definitely Cleopatra. Her love shaped both Mark Antony and Roman history. Cleopatra the Seventh Thea Philopator. Even her name is mesmerizing, isn't it? Meaning famous through her father. She made history not just with her name, but with her intelligence. She was of Greek descent, but saw herself as the embodiment of the Egyptian goddess Isis. And yes, Cleopatra prided herself not on her beauty, but on her mind. Portraits suggest her nose was a bit prominent, but her eyes shone with cleverness. Today, we might say these were ideal Instagram influencer traits. Prominent nose, yet eyes raking in the likes. Perfect. Cleopatra's rise to power was a political drama. Marriages to siblings. Yes, it was normal then. Throne struggles and balancing with Rome. Her alliance with Julius Caesar continued with Mark Antony, yet this love triangle eventually turned tragic. Then there was Octavian in Antony's life. Married into Rome's strongest political family, yet his heart beat in Egypt. Who would have thought Rome's most solid marriage would fall victim to love? The Dionysius of Alexandria ceremony after the war was a showy Renaissance-like party. Gold thrones, kingdoms distributed to children. Imagine it as a live Instagram broadcast today. But for Octavian, this display was unacceptable. Antony even supposedly intended to build his own tomb in Egypt. Rumors among Romans went wild. Is he leaving Rome to move to Egypt? And Octavian, hearing this Egypt move rumor, probably thought, what's going on? Opening a real estate business. Eventually, the Senate declared war, and everything resolved on the hills of Actium. The Battle of Actium was not just a struggle between two armies. It was the moment the fates of the ancient world's greatest powers were written. Rome was opening a new era under a single ruler, the Augustus era, as old friendships broke and new alliances formed. Antony's suicide was the peak of tragedy. His death triggered by false news. How dramatic. Yet even in death, he did not give up on his love. He wanted Cleopatra reached. Cleopatra entered history with her mysterious death, often said to have been bitten by an asp, but the truth remains unknown.
Could one have reached her without such a dramatic death? Perhaps even Hollywood writers wouldn't have expected such an ending. Today, this epic is a perfect blend of political maneuvering and passion. And remember, the real hero behind history is sometimes not a man, especially in ancient times. The Battle of Actium reminds us, in the arenas of power, love and betrayal are intertwined. Sometimes love wins, sometimes power. But you will never be forgotten if your name is Cleopatra or Augustus. And that brings us to the end of this legend. If your love for history burns in your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Rome Wars, like the video and share your comments, because history lives on when shared.